I'd like you to meet Nikki, I think Murray. It's kind of hard to tell. She's so worn out. Let me look over here. Yeah, here we go. This is a Murray mower. Very hard to read the model number. She's got a pull cord issue. The previous owner tried to buy one of these pull cords you get from Walmart and put it on there. They give you plenty of string, so I'll be able to use this. But he couldn't figure out how to get it on there, and so I bought it used, I think for $20 or something. Wasn't much. And so we're going to install this pull cord and hope that this mower runs. You're probably wondering why I would buy such a horrible old mower, but I like them. I like these old mowers. This is a pjet mower, and in particular, the reason I wanted to buy this one is, I could be wrong, but I think this is the type that has the short crankshaft coming off the bottom of the engine, just based on the appearance. You see how this edge, you can see in the pine palm, this edge here sits a little higher than that, and that's not the way they make them now. Now the edge of the mower is kind of up because mulching is so important to the modern mowers. Everybody wants to mulch things, and this one is, you just want to cut your grass with this kind, and it sits lower, so the crankshaft is lower. So that means that if this engine doesn't run, I will probably be able to put a pressure washer engine on it, like that one. And those also have very short crankshafts on the bottom. It doesn't extend very far below the bottom of the engine, just a couple of inches. Some crankshafts on these modern mowers, they hang down about 3 or 4 inches. So I'm going to try to get this mower going. If I can't, then I'll put a pressure washer engine on it and try and get that one to go. So I'm going to be repairing the rewinder and try and get that string on there. We'll learn how to do that together. The other thing I noticed with this mower that's going to cause it not to run is the brake cable does work. It's not rusted or anything, but if you'll notice, you always want to look right. Let me get something to point with. You always want to look right there, and see that's touching, which is what you want when the bail is up and you let it go to shut the mower off. You want it right there. But I'm going to compress this with my hand, and I want you to watch. See that? Now it's moved, but that gap, if it exists at all, is so tiny that the slightest little bump is going to cause that mower to shut off, or maybe never even start. So we're going to address that too. See that it doesn't move it out of the way enough. So we're going to address that. The other thing we're going to address, this mower has had a lot of use. And that's probably the original blade. I wouldn't be surprised. And it's worn down really quite a bit. I think that's, well, there goes the gas. It must have a full gas tank. Yep, it's dripping out. That's not the right size blade. Looked like it was about a 20-incher. Let me turn on my fan to get the smell of gas out of here. That's not good. Must be slammed full over there, or else the gas cap is loose. Let me check that. Let's see if the gas cap is loose. Well, the gas cap is tight, so that just means it's full. And these gas caps vent out. That way they'll continue to feed the carburetor. So if you plug this up or put a plastic bag on there or something like that to prevent a leak, it'll work. But if you're trying to run your mower, it won't work, because eventually the fuel's not going to flow, because you created a vacuum and the gravity's not going to move the fuel. So anyway, I've got to clean up this mess now. So let me get the camera over here, and we're going to start repairing this mower and see if we can save Nikki and get her running and get the rewinder repaired. And I'm going to move on this side of the mower, because that's where the carburetor is on this type. The carburetor and the fuel tank, that's where all the work is going to be done. So let me set this down and see if we can make some repairs to this mower. All right, the gas is dissipated somewhat. And the first thing to do is to get this rewinder off and figure out, if it's a broken spring, or if the guy just didn't know how to do this. But there's a 3/8 head screw there, a 3/8 head screw there, one, and then a third one over here. And then there's the two little screws that hold the dipstick on, and all that has to come off. The dipstick is held on by two little 1/4 inch head screws, and so I'm going to take those off first, and they're around this side. And these screws go into the rewinder. Well, I need to lift the rewinder off, so those screws have to come out. One, and two, and now I'll switch to the 3/8, and we'll see how tight these are. Got that one started. I'm going to get this one over here by the dipstick started. Pollen is super bad here today. It is the 2nd of April, or as they call it, Liberation Day in Washington. There's one out. Two more to go. Oh, I dropped that one. There it is. There's one out, and then there's one in the front, just by the spark plug line. There's two out. Oops. And the third one's over here by the dipstick. I've got the dipstick screws out, so this should just lift off. And obviously I'm looking for black widows and mice nests. I finally was able to say, hey, the black widows are a problem with the mower called Libby. If you go back and look at that, the very first episode of Libby, you get to see where I almost got bit by a black widow working on some mess around the crankshaft. So anyway, I'm gonna lift this up and hope for the best. Okay, no mouse nests and no black widows. So that's always a good sign. Let me set that down and see what we've got here. That does seem to be working. The air vane. And the carburetor springs are on the correct locations, and the carburetor springs are both there. There's two of them. I'm going to go ahead and compress the engine brake. I want to see if the flywheel turns. Nikki. Yep, and I've got compression, so that's good. I'm going to go ahead and unplug the spark plug, because that is the wrong spark plug for this mower. It says CJ14. That is incorrect. I'll get my spark plug remover. That's the little one. So let's try this one. That one's, yep, that's it right there. There's a 13/16. All right. So this Champion CJ14 is coming out. It looks brand new. And let me get a spark plug that fits this. I've got a whole jar of spark plugs I need to test anyway, so I'll stick this in there, and that's a Briggs and Stratton plug, so that should be okay. Let me clean some of the gunk off of it. And I'm going to gap this thing. It looks like the gap is narrow. I don't see where my gapping tool is. I'll put it somewhere. I don't think that spark plug gap is right. That one doesn't look right either. Anyway, I've got to find my gapping tool. If you guys will just hang with me for a minute, I'm going to find that, and we're going to come back and work on this mower and see what we can turn it into. Come back for episode 2 of Saving Nikki.